Well, in a sweeping move, the Trump administration has revoked Harvard University's certification to enroll foreign students, citing security concerns and accusations of fostering campus violence and anti-Semitism. So what does this mean? This means that Harvard University, one of the most premier institutions across the world, can no longer enroll any foreign students. Students from anywhere in the world cannot go to Harvard University. This throws up several questions. What happens to the existing students? Before we get you all those details, let's tell you that the Department of Homeland Security has said that Harvard has allowed anti-American agitators to attack Jewish students and claims that the university coordinated with the Chinese Communist Party, even training paramilitary groups as recently as 2024. Now, Harvard enrolls nearly 6,800 international students, mostly graduate scholars from over 100 countries. These students now face losing their visas, or they must immediately transfer to other schools. Harvard calls this ban unlawful and warns the move threatens the entire university community and the research mission. The administration has in fact demanded Harvard to hand over extensive records within 72 hours or remain barred from hosting foreign students in the 2025-26 academic year. Now, critics have said that the move is a political attack on academic freedom, while federal authorities argue that it holds Harvard accountable for campus unrest and ties to foreign adversaries.
Yes.
Issue.
Well, I won't have much more, but you're welcome to do it.
You deferred to DHS, but in a
Sure.
bigger picture, presumably the United States wants to attract the best and the brightest insofar as foreigners, students, immigrants. And these top-tier universities are one of the most prominent ways to do that. So do you think prohibiting Harvard to enroll foreign students kind of gets in the way of that goal?
Well, again, I can't speak to Secretary Noem's plans and strategy and her decision to implement this. What I would argue is that we have an interest as a nation, as President Trump has spoken to quite often, that we have an interest as a nation for these universities that are supposed to be the gold standard to actually deliver people who are educated and can function in society and on campuses that encourage a learning environment as opposed to one of left-wing activism, where you have individuals leaving the university level in this country as our rates are declining when it comes to comprehension and reading and a whole host of other things. That it has to be more than just a label or a brand. It has to deliver results for the families that do pay a lot of money for it. And I think that there's a point, as you've seen, I think it's obvious from the Trump administration, with the federal money that flows into those coffers and the nature of the kind of talent. You can speak about foreign talent. Let's speak about American talent. You've got a wonderful kid who's done very, very well, and then you send them to Harvard, and a kid comes home, and you don't even recognize them. And they're definitely primed to be a fabulous left-wing activist, but they're maybe not going to be able to get a job. And so, this is a recognition and movement that universities around this country are recognizing that American families have standards. We spend money so our children can be educated in the normal function of life.
So this is the only official statement that has been issued, but the Department of Homeland Security has given one notification to Harvard University, making it clear that it can no longer take any students, any international students in the campus. So let's tell you what this flashpoint is about and the response that has come in from the Harvard University. The strike that has come in from the Trump administration after several weeks of a standoff is that Harvard is now banned from enrolling international students completely. Harvard has now responded to it, saying that this is a retaliatory action because we did not give in to the politics of Trump, saying that it threatens serious harm to the university. Now, the Student in Exchange Visitor Program has been revoked, with the Trump administration saying that it is a privilege of any university to have international students. It's not a right that they enjoy. So the existing students, what happens to them? Now, this is going to be very crucial. These existing students must transfer out of Harvard or lose legal status in the country immediately. So Harvard has, of course, responded by calling it an unlawful action by the Trump administration. So the reason why the Trump administration has taken this decision is because it accuses the Harvard University of fostering violence, anti-Semitism, and also having links with the CCP. Harvard University, though, says that in our campus, we have students from over 140 countries, and this is going to be a big setback for the students who have come in from across the world. My colleague Srinjoy Chaudhary is on the broadcast with us with the details of how this could play out. And Srinjoy, this causes a lot of concern because Harvard University is one of the premier institutions across the world. Students who are excellent at academics come to Harvard University for their education. Now, they have come to the center of this Harvard versus Trump because Trump administration's diktat is very clear. Those students who are currently in the campus must transfer or lose legal status.
Yes, this is one of the battles for the ages. The most powerful man in the world versus the most prestigious university in the world. Now, the problem for India and Indians is this. Number one, there will be some Indian students at Harvard at this point. Now, it's going to be difficult for them, or at least an task for them, to transfer in the middle of their academic career out of Harvard, out of Cambridge, Massachusetts, to some other place in America, to some other university in America. America acknowledges that of the, let's say, 3 or 4 best universities, Harvard is certainly among them year after year. Now, for other Indians, other great Indian students, this is again a problem because their choice is reduced. They could go to other universities in the world like Oxford and Cambridge or Yale or Stanford and Berkeley, but Harvard will not be able to have them. The point, of course, is what happens now. Harvard could certainly go to court and the US Supreme Court could well decide on it. So it's absolutely unclear at the moment how this war between Harvard and Donald Trump will end, particularly vis-a-vis these students. Now, it must be said, of course, the one loser will be the American research community, because Harvard has produced great researchers in the past, and many of them have led to won Nobel Prizes in physics, chemistry, or medicine, and economics, if you're looking at the sciences. Now, of the 900 or so people who have won the Nobel Prize in these 4 subjects between 1901 and today, maybe 100 plus have associations with Harvard, either as students or as professors or as researchers or something. Now, this will be a loss for the scientific research facilities in America, because these people who can't go to Harvard, if they can't go anywhere else in America, they will go to Europe, they will go to Japan. So in a sense, it will be a loss for America, and it could be a loss for Indians who were keen to
for a
do
lot
their
of Indian
best
students.
And
in fact, very interestingly, Srinjoy,